Good morning and welcome back to another daily market outlook video where we're going to discuss all the major dollar pairs and gold. Starting off today with the DXY. Yesterday what we can see that happened is that we had a push in towards the downside, a little bit of a retracement. Now we've taken out some liquidity underneath this low here, and I do expect the market to push up higher now, taking out that 102 liquidity level, and then maybe a proper retracement in towards the downside for the dollar. But for today and the beginning of next week, I am looking to take out at least this liquidity here before any significant move in towards the downside. And I also, what can happen now is that we swipe the low one more time and then a reaction in towards the highs. But I do think our most immediate target to trade towards is this 102 level that I had marked out previously. If we then go to EURUSD, what we can see on the 4-hour time frame is actually not that much. We've made another break in towards the downside on the daily time frame as I've marked out previously. We are starting to slow down a little bit, and what I do expect is that we are going to trade higher towards this daily demand zone and then some continuation shorts there on EU, together with the fact that we have a weekly open here and a beautiful liquidity point over here. So yeah, this would be a really nice scenario if we can trade up higher eventually and then take out some liquidity to then break in towards the downside and continuation down lower. And with that DXY going higher, we can now see one more push in towards the downside, then that change of character in towards the highs, and then we get something like this, and this is what I am aiming for currently. If we then go to GU, GU did grab some liquidity over here, but then already made a retracement in towards a supply zone that was situated here. Then after we broke down, but we left some really ugly lows over here, we then swiped liquidity and retraced in towards the premium zone here, and I am now looking for a possible setup to play. This is a little bit more clearer like this. We grabbed liquidity, we pushed down, we swiped those early sellers out, and then we started to break in towards the downside. Now we've taken everything from the Asia session, and I am waiting for a potential short setup if we can get some confirmation in towards the downside over here to take out these lows. So that's a possible setup on GU. If we then go to NZDUSD, NZDUSD as well is just was a falling knife and is now stuck over here. We need to wait for some reaccumulation on NZDUSD. The same goes for AUDUSD. AUDUSD did now swipe the low one more time, so this now is our low. And I do think that if the DXY starts to push down lower eventually, that we can see some upwards price action in towards maybe the premium zone over here. But then on the other hand, there are still a lot of targets open underneath here. So it could also be that we just start to drop down lower from this point, but then there's no trade to be taken for me. USDCAD yesterday pushed down a little bit lower together with that DXY. We are now trading inside once again a demand zone over here, marking that out as a bullish chain. And what do I expect? A little bit of a swipe of the lows maybe, and then some continuation up towards that liquidity level together then with DXY. Then we have USDJPY, and USDJPY I was actually looking at yet another beautiful position here to enter, a position on top of that liquidity that's being swiped over here. So we just barely touch that that level that was over here. If I go to this tool, then we have over here 161952, and yesterday we had 950. So we barely swept that high. And what I do want to see now is some manipulation going on. So actually what I want is some sellers coming into the market, then a big push with a lot of force taking out all those sellers, taking out that previous high, and then a break in towards the downside in order for a nice short to play out. So that's the game plan on UJ. If we then look to USDCHF, then we see that we had a little bit of a retracement down lower, but what I need now is just a bigger retracement down. As you can see, I've drawn over here as well. We need to take out at least some of this liquidity here, and that did not happen yet, so there are no new longs for me on the table, but eventually I do want to see a retracement down towards this liquidity level at least, then a clear change of character, and then some continuation longs here. If we then look at gold, then gold pushed down lower yesterday, didn't really retrace to anywhere. So what do I expect now? At least a push in towards this weekly open here with some liquidity in the supply zone, and then a break in towards the downside once again for some continuation shorts towards at least this level here. I still kind of hope that we can protect this level, not break underneath there. But on the other hand, there is still a little bit of room in towards the downside, and no bullish confirmation has been given as of yet. So yeah, just going to be really patient there and wait for price to really turn around and show us bullish order flow once again. On silver, it's the same. We've pushed down lower. There's some beautiful liquidity open here, and I'm waiting for a price to push up higher, at least to get into the supply zone, to trade down lower once again. And there is still a zone open here as well. So yeah, going to be interesting what we can get there. On copper pushed down lower, taking out once again some liquidity. We didn't swipe the low over here, so I do expect that we push down eventually, swipe that liquidity, and then hopefully a bullish change of character to trade up in towards the highs once again. Guys, thanks for watching today's episode. If you are in Europe, then be careful with the extreme heat today. Where I'm situated, it's going to be 36 degrees. I was almost burping. 36 degrees. So here on the attic, I'm going to move out as quickly as possible and go to look for some water or something, because it's already getting really warm here behind my desk. Thanks for watching once again. So consider subscribing to the channel if you want to see more. I'll hope to see you guys next week, Monday. Bye.